Hello, my name is Beatrice, and today I would like to present you an idea for a vocabulary app that is called MyVoc. I named it MyVoc because it has quite a few individualizable features to suit the needs of the user. I would like you to meet Luis Carlos. Luis Carlos is a software engineer. He is 40 years old, married, has 2 children. He is a project manager. He has a very good university education. He was born in Mexico but does now live in France and does speak mainly English at work, but he does also need a very good French due to the fact that he does live in France. He does have very little spare time. He needs excellent communication skills to work with different teams around the world, and he does tend to forget words he uses seldom. Luis Carlos says, having a broad and accurate vocabulary is essential for being able to communicate with teams in different countries. The problems we need to solve for Luis Carlos are that learning often feels like a burden, that learning seems to be too time-consuming for him. He does not always feel motivated to learn, and long learning sessions are not possible due to lack of time. So what he needs, our problem statement is, Luis Carlos needs a way to learn vocabulary that allows him to use short breaks to learn, that is fun and keeps him motivated, that lets him adjust some settings to cope with his specific needs. These settings are, for example, that he is able to include own words. Due to the fact that he does work as an engineer, he does use a lot of technical terms that you would usually not find in a normal vocabulary app. The challenges he has is he would like to be able to use short break times to learn, since he wants to spend his spare time with his family at home. So once he gets home, he does not want to sit down and learn anymore. Also, due to the lack of time he needs a very effective learning method because his days are extremely busy. He definitely needs to be able to understand his colleagues when they are speaking in French. So if a meeting is in French or if they are having lunch, he definitely wants to be able to understand them also, because this is a way for him to feel more integrated in the country, in the culture, in the company. So when prototyping, we tried to address all these needs. We made 2 rounds of sketching. The first round was a very, very rough one, where we thought of different ways of addressing his needs and of solving the problems. And the second round was already a bit more detailed. What followed next was the sketches were put in an app so that the usability and the functions could be tested. We made a usability test plan where we tested the main features we thought Luis Carlos would need. The first thing we tested was how does it work to learn a new word with the app, because this is obviously one of the most important features. The second feature we wanted to test it was how it works to add a new own word to the app. As I said before, due to the fact that he uses specific and very technical terms because of his job, it is important that he is able to individualize the app and include words you would not usually find in the app. Then the testers had to add an own definition to the word they added and a given definition. The idea is that either the app has already a preset definition of the word, or it can be linked to the internet to to search for a definition that can be saved to learn the word afterwards. The fourth feature we tested was to add a word that was to be learned for a longer time. This is important because Luis Carlos tends to forget words he does not use too often. And the last feature we tested was the learning challenge. We wanted the testers to take part in the learning challenge. This is an important feature just because it keeps the user motivated to learn. And not everything went completely smoothly. We found many things that did not work the way we thought they would work. The first thing that did not work was the users were not able to leave the introductory logo screen. So what we did, we changed it from swooshing to tapping to just make it easier to leave this main screen. The next thing we realized was that the main screen the user arrived to was not self-explaining enough. The user did not understand what do I do with beginner, intermediate, advanced, and so on. So we decided to make a short introductory text to explain what the user does have to do, with the option of make it as a pop-up so that you only see it the first time you use it, and once you know how it works, it doesn't show up anymore. Another thing that did most definitely not work, and that was like a very big learning also, was the menu. The menu was very, very confusing. Using a mixture of icons and letters was definitely not self-explaining. And what we did think afterwards was that using combinations of letters is even more difficult, since the app should have different languages to choose from. So for each language, these two letters would be different ones. So the way to solve it was to eliminate all the letter combinations we had, and to choose icons that were as self-explaining as possible to make the navigation as easy and as clear as possible. Another thing that was difficult or confusing or irritating for the users was that once they finished a task, there was not always a screen telling them that they had successfully finished their task. So we just included screens, for example, telling that the word had been saved successfully for a longer period of time. And another thing that did not work was not having the menu linked on every screen. So what happened was that the users went to a new menu point, realized they were wrong, and they had to click through all the screens to get back to the beginning. And what we did was we included a linked menu at least to every first screen to the menu point, so that if they realized they were wrong, they could easily go back to the main screen or to another menu point. There were a lot of learnings from this design process. One of the learnings was what I just said, that having a working navigation process is very, very important to be able to run user tests. That icons are most definitely much easier to understand and much less misleading than letter combinations. And that even the sketches can be rough. they should be easy and clear to understand. I should probably make an effort to not make the sketches that rough and to make them a bit clearer. The users did not complain, but it was something I just thought that sometimes they were just not neat enough, and that user testing needs to be well prepared. Overall, I enjoyed the design process very, very much, and I did find it a really fun and interesting way to get to really good results, to know what does work and what does not work. Thank you very much.